रावत कर एभली अनेक ऑपरेशन रे सफलता से पाइछंती बोली कहा जाई पारे। यूएन मिशन कथा कहा जाऊ, पाकिस्तान विपक्ष रे हेउ, चाइना विपक्ष रे हेउ किंबा क्रॉस बॉर्डर विथ म्यांमार कथा कहा जाऊ, अनेक एभली ऑपरेशन रही जो बिपिन रावत कर दक्षता और अभिज्ञता को व्यवहार करी ए सब ऑपरेशन रे हमको सफलता भी मिली छे।
That's true. It is Satya Katha, and he has, at that point in time, he had shown tremendous leadership qualities and abilities, and yes. But I must also tell you that there will be a very short break, shall we say, in his absence. But in the military, in the armed forces, we have always a next in line, almost fully aware. So therefore, that transition will not be very difficult, and it won't hamper the smoothness with which the command must carry on. But what is more important also, that we not only have lost him as a military commander, but we have also lost him as a human being. He was a very fine human being, very kind and tolerant and patient. These qualities give in the military command that soft touch to the hard times that the military has to undergo. So that is another area, but then all military men are like this. So therefore, seta besi samoy lagibone to fill the void. So, but we must also accept that he was not only a very kind and he was also well informed, and what is more important is that he was at that level. The military leader must be acceptable to the civilian control, and that is the government, the ministries, not those who work in the ministry, but the cabinet, and they're directly responsible to that. So Segudeka Desai Digoru, he had a very a good acceptance level, because there are many people, they may go to that rank but may not get accepted by the civilian government control, like in our neighbor in Pakistan. So that he was a very smooth. Final decision about anything in the military has to be the government, and government is a civilian government and democratic government. So that credit must be given to him, that he kind of, the military life is little different, the way of conduct is different, but he was a very fine bridge between the hard military way and the civilian way. For example, time, decision, these are very important in the military world, but the governments don't run like that. Governments don't run like an army headquarters or an army unit or an army echelon. It takes time, and that is what whatever 2 years thereabouts that Bipin Rawat he showed that at a higher level of military matters, keeping in the civilian control and their methods and their paces is very important.
निश्चित भाव में जनरल महंती एमती भी कहली अनेक थर आम प्रतिक्रिया शुणीचु से गणमाध्यम को प्रतिक्रिया देवा समय कहती डोकलाम विवाद में जितेबाला समाधान कथा आसे चाइना सहित चीन सहित जितेबाला भारत सीमा विवाद को नहीं अनेक थर बैठक बसी उच्च पदस्थ अधिकारी बैठक बसी से बिपिन रावत सामिल था एभली एक बड़ विवाद प्रसंग को नहीं समाधान बाट बाहर करने को से अनेक थर चेष्टा करिसेंती। केवल एतिकी नुहे सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक कथा कह जाऊ किंबा बालाकोट स्ट्राइक कथा कह जाऊ गोटे बड़ और गुरुत्वपूर्ण भूमिका से निभाई एने खबर आसे।
That is true, but we must I think we जानिबा कथा कि all the two operations that you mentioned, that main credit goes to the government. And how that government's decision, however difficult it may be, because government take a decision whatever the one that is good for the entire country, how and to translate that into military action is not a very easy thing. So that with Bipin Rawat, if you will allow me to express that militarization of the civilian decision, he accomplished that with great flair, and which did not hurt the military, and even if it they were quick to understand that and implement that. So, and that at the highest level, the decision has to be between the government decision, which is a civilian decision essentially, and the military action, which is entirely military. That translating that into the military understanding and implementing, that credit must be given to Bipin Rawat in the last 2 years or 3 years that he was at the helm of affairs. And then, you must understand, what was he going to Wellington for? He had a concept of theatre command. We had followed through of course, and we had tried it also in battles. 3 wars we have fought with adversaries. 4th one if you include China. So it has stood by us but then ahead, we have to think ahead. We have to think of last 20 years to be prepared militarily to fight a successful battle. The gestation period is something like that, 20 years, 30 years. So that Bipin Rawat had conceived, had perceived, and was trying to get it implemented when this happened. For example, the theatre command concept, it is entirely his brainchild. Not that it didn't exist, but elsewhere, yes, it did, like a huge military responsibility of USA. In that theatre command, this kind of a thing was there, but not in our case. But to translate that, to modify that to our command and to our system of war fighting and our need of war fighting, it was not very easy. So he is the one who was trying, and it is to explain to the young officers of next 2 to 3 decades that he was going, what is this concept of theatre command? And this unfortunate incident happened. So the credit must be given that this man was determined, his perseverance level was very high, and he was going down to the lowest level of the military leadership to explain to them himself that what the concept is all about. And once it is accepted at a lower level, then the war fighting becomes far more potent. So you can always say that he literally died in the battlefield. Battlefield doesn't have to be always exchange of fire.
କୁହାଯାଇ ପାରେ ଜେନେରାଲ ମହାନ୍ତି ଯେ ଭଳି ଜଣେ ଦେଶର ବୀରଙ୍କୁ ସବୁବେଳେ ଦେଶ ମନେ ରଖିବ ଏବଂ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକଟି ବ୍ୟକ୍ତି ଏହି ଦୁର୍ଘଟଣାକୁ ମନେ ରଖିବେ। କିନ୍ତୁ ବଡ଼ କଥା ହେଉଛି ଯେ ଆମେ ଜଣେ ଦକ୍ଷ ଅଧିକାରୀଙ୍କୁ ହରେଇଛୁ, ଦେଶ ଜଣେ ଦକ୍ଷ ପ୍ରତିରକ୍ଷା ବିଭାଗର ଅଧିକାରୀଙ୍କୁ ହରେଇଛି। ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସମୟ ପାଇଁ।